Hi, I'm Howard Hamilton, and this is Laura Bennett, and together we're Red Pens. I'm still not looking at the camera.
Oh, you're fine.
You made me see your soul see through. You let me see right through you.
Most of our lyrics are about us and our experiences that we had and the process of us getting together as a band and as a couple, and the things that we do on a daily basis and the problems that we encounter. You know, most bands, their songs are about different random things, but ours are mainly focused around our experiences so far.
When you see them live especially, it's really hard to believe that there's only two of them playing, because Howard gets so much sound out of his guitar using all these pedals and feedback and distortion, and it just makes this really powerful sound right away. And then he's a fantastic songwriter underneath it all, so then underneath this wall of sound you've got these really kind of pretty pop songs that are buried in there.
Well, when we first met, we were both interested in each other's art. I wasn't really focused on music at the time. I was painting all day, and I just really needed somebody to sort of bounce ideas off of that I could relate to. One day, we were both trying to do art at the same time at my kitchen table, and it just wasn't happening. So we decided to go in this back room that was like a little studio like this, if you can imagine a little, 7 by 10 foot room.
We're like, let's just jam together.
And this magic just happened. I played in a million bands before. I've never felt that. I felt like as soon as I started playing with her, all the other things that I did musically, especially with drummers, had just been this sort of false version of making music.
We both were like, this is going to be hard, people might not care for a while, but we loved it so much, and that's what kept us going. We're just kind of doing it for ourselves for a really long time, and he's just so brilliant at what he does with the music that I was just like, will you be in a band with me?
And from that point on, there was no more sitting at the kitchen table making art. It was more of a, when are we going to practice?
Yeah, we were getting closer and closer as friends, through the beginning of the process too, and I think it really affected the music.
It's really nice to have a band that actually has a little bit of a story behind it, and actually has we're a couple and we feed off of each other, as opposed to just being these people that kind of met in an ad and they play this music together to try to make money. When we're playing, it's just kind of the same as when we're just together all the time. I can guess what she's going to do next, and she can guess what I'm going to do next, and there's tons of just feeding off of each other's energy on stage, and I mean, even when we're practicing, we feel it.
When I see him just getting more, I'm just it builds me up, and it's almost just, goes so fast, it's hard to decide who's starting it, it's kinetic for sure.
Laura is this sort of visionary person that has this ability to just automatically paint and draw these images that are in her head. And every twist and turn is a surprise. I look at her art and I can imagine what I would do next, and she never does what I do next. She always throws a curveball in there. When I saw her painting for the first time, I could see the energy flowing from her hands and how each thing came out, and it just blew my mind. When we started playing together, her art kind of changed, and it changed to sort of mimic the sound of the music, and the music then took a turn and started being influenced by her art. So we have this sort of connection where the sounds, the fuzz, and the heavy distortion, they're all kind of represented in the art.
The art seems to kind of come out of me so fast, especially when he's making or playing music.
We'll listen to a song that we just recorded and she'll make a painting and say, you know, this is what that song sounds like to me.
I like to make things that look like towers that would transmit sound, you know, like buttons you wish you could push, and this looks kind of like static. Like, it's just really kind of comes right out like that too. When I was listening to him playing, that's when it's the easiest. Now I'm like, if I were to sit here alone and try to do this, it would just come out too clean, too thought out. I'd go over it too much, and then my hands wouldn't look as this. Like, this is a good day when my hands are all mucked up.
So this is a pedal that Laura painted, and you know, it all started out kind of with Jimi Hendrix and fuzz pedals, and there's this movement where they have one-of-a-kind paint jobs, and Laura is probably the most famous person that does it.
I mean, it's just shocking to hear that.
It's like a piece of art, like one of her paintings, but on a guitar pedal, and they're all one of a kind, and people collect them.
Nels Klein, who plays with Wilco, he came up to me and he said, "Oh, I'm Laura Bennett, I'm familiar with your work, I really like what you do," and he shook my hand. To know that he has it and likes it, that meant a big deal for something I did to get in the hands of an incredible guitar player.
I've heard that Johnny Greenwood from Radiohead has a pedal that Laura painted on his pedal board also. And a lot of times what's been happening is these pedals will sell, and the musicians will fall in love with the artwork and they'll want a painting. And someday I hope to have some sort of an art show where the pedals are displayed as fine art. The music and the art are just so connected. You know, like Laura's art is on the cover of our CD. You get a little bit more of a view of this person, and then you play a little bit together and you're like, oh my God, and then you see them paint. You get the part of the bigger picture and you're like, I'm connected to this person. This person is the way that I am, and it's like a perfect compliment.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.